What's up guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you're doing good. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a little known fact that a lot of people are sleeping on that is now super effective thanks to one of the new weapons in the Mistlands update. If you enjoyed this video or you find it useful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for future content. And just before we get started, I want to say if you would like an update on the upcoming content on the channel, including when I'll be back to streaming, make sure you watch to the end because I will talk about that later in the video. Let's jump into it. Okay, so can you guess what the mystery weapon is? Well, it's actually a combination of two weapons, which is the bile bombs and the ooze bombs. Ooze bombs have been in the game for a long time, but bile bombs were added in the Mistlands update. And the way that both these items work is that when you throw them, they create an area of effect, which inflicts a status effect. For the ooze bombs, it's poison, and for the new bile bombs, it creates a fire area of effect. And the reason this is so effective is because if you put one of each type down at the same time, you're going to be inflicting two status effects at the same time, and therefore stacking the DPS of both weapons. I'll show you a test to prove this later on, but first, let's demonstrate it on a bunch of Seekers. Alright, so let's try it on this Seeker. I'm going to throw a bile bomb, then I'm going to instantly throw my ooze bomb, and this should be almost enough to kill one Seeker just with one of each bomb. You can see he's super low already. And there's one more bomb will do the trick. So now I'm just going to rain down bombs on all these Seekers over here. Like, just look at all the DPS. It's completely insane. This is actually a 1-star Seeker. And look how much damage it's taken already. Actually sounds like we've got a soldier here as well, so let's try that. So I'm just going to keep throwing bombs of each type. Fire damage does stack a little bit, of course, as well. But you can see, even without doing any melee attacks or hitting the enemy's weak spot at all, this is actually a really simple and safe way to even kind of melt soldiers. Especially if you add this on to actually shooting it with some arrows and stuff as well. Start to do a really high amount of DPS. So this is perfect. The soldier can't even get up. You can throw a few bile bombs to stack some of that fire damage. Get some poison going on at the same time. Oh look, we're going to have dealt with this soldier in literally seconds. There we go. And that was literally with stuff that's really not that hard to craft. Not to mention the fact that it doesn't require any skill levels to do this amount of damage. If you want to craft bile bombs, it's 1 sap, 1 bile bag, and 3 resin. And yeah, you can just craft it on a normal workbench. Its absolute best use case is on groups of enemies, so let me show you it a little bit more in dungeons. So see, we've actually got a soldier right at this door, which is kind of funny. But we don't even really have to fight the soldier, we can just spam bile bombs and ooze bombs. Keep the DPS going. This is actually kind of funny. It's a super safe, easy way of dealing with tons of enemies. Alright, let me see if we can group a couple of enemies together or something. Even when they're down low like this, it's actually kind of hilarious. This is actually a really good example because we've got 2 at once, look. Throw in a couple of extra bile bombs. The news bombs make sense because fire damage does stack. But look. You can see it absolutely melts them. So yeah, as you can see, this is actually really effective for several groups of enemies because you're attacking them all at the same time. Okay, so you can't do damage to yourself with bombs. So I'm going to use a few commands to show you how status effects stack. So look, if I spawn this blob, I can get poisoned. Then if I just like step on a fire as well at the same time, look, you can see that you actually get both ticks at the same time. So this is basically similar to what's going on to the enemies when you use both type of bombs at the same time. You see when I've got the burning debuff and the poison, we start to get 2 sets of ticks in the damage indicator. Alright guys, just before I wrap things up, I want to give you guys a little channel update. I know all of our regulars always have a good idea of what's going on, but I'm very aware from all of the recent support we've gotten with the Mistlands content that we've got a lot of newcomers. So I do want to explain things real quick. When it comes to making content, I try to be equal parts YouTuber and equal parts streamer. Most content creators really overly focus on one or the other, or they're just a streamer but they pay someone else to edit some highlights or something. But the way I like to do things is I like to dedicate a certain period of time to just streaming a lot. So maybe for like a week or 2 or 3, I may just do a lot of streams almost every day, usually with some kind of goal in mind, like going for a world record or something. But after a certain period of time, I don't want to leave it too long without any proper edited YouTube videos coming out. So then I change into video editing mode and videos become a focus for a little period of time. Now, if it's just a simple video that's just on one topic, like this one, I'm generally able to get that done in a morning or in an evening before or after going live, or maybe even at most just in a day. But in order to bring you guys the best content and the most interesting content, sometimes that requires dedicating much longer. And it really just depends on what the video is. Some of my craziest challenge videos that I've made, for example, which are a lot of people's favorites, they can take weeks to make. Some kind of guide might take a few days to do all the research and capture all of the relevant footage. Or sometimes if the edit is just particularly interesting and I'm trying to do some fun stuff with that, that can make the video take days as well. And so, just to reiterate what I'm working on right now, I'm currently working on an absolutely giant Mistlands guide for both newcomers and experienced players alike, where I talk about absolutely everything in the update, but for each thing, also give some tips and suggestions from things that I have discovered from trying to speedrun the game or just from a lot of testing. So this requires me first of all to actually test all of these things and set up a lot of different scenarios and then record clips and voiceover for each one. And because the update is so big, this is going to require a lot more time. So since I last streamed, I only actually had a couple of days off and I've been working on this video for several hours every day since then. It's worth noting as well that, you know, the longer videos get, the more editing and therefore the longer they take to make. And while I don't currently have an idea of an exact length for this video, there's a good chance it could be more than 30 minutes long, perhaps even up to an hour. I don't really know yet, but it's certainly becoming my longest edited video I've made so far. And a video that long with a lot of editing takes a long time to make. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to provide the single best guide video that exists on the internet for Mistlands. People have done brief overviews of everything. People have even done tips videos. But in all of those videos, either the information either isn't the best or there's something missing. And in some guide videos to do with Mistlands, you know, stuff like chicken farming and fishing and some of the smaller details even just aren't even covered at all. So I'm trying to cover more than anyone else has covered in a single video. And the reason I'm doing this is because guides stay in use for a very long time after updates are released. So it's going to be something players are going to be coming back to refer to for a while. And therefore I just want to make sure it's as detailed and accurate as possible. Anyway, I've already gone too long talking about this. But just so you know, once the guide video is done, I will then return to streaming, and I'll be trying to gradually make progress on the next episode of the Double Bosses series in between streams. And the general plan is to be able to stream almost every day leading up to Christmas Eve after these videos are out. So you'll have all of this content soon, and you should end up with a solid week of streams before Christmas. Over Christmas, I'll be spending a couple of days here and there with family. Then when I get back, we'll be back on the content grind with more streams and more videos. Alright, that's just about going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it or you found the information useful, please don't forget to leave a like and a nice positive comment for the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe for future content. If you'd like to support the content financially and help keep the dream alive, then the best way to do that is on Patreon at patreon.com/nickrawcliffe. So I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested in that. I do stream live on this very YouTube channel and live on Twitch at twitch.tv/nickrawcliffe. So I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested in that as well. You can join my Discord and follow me on social media at the links below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, have a good one.